and the AD slot, and then you can still go Volibear and...
Naughty. Oi, RNG, what's happening here? Okay, Smolder and I guess you could pick Xin Zhao again.
Yep.
And
Smolder's
just be
in.
like, whatever.
You could also... No, you should just go Xin. It's just better. I was going to say you could arguably take the Volibear away. Now, what's the adaptation then for RNG, right? Because there's no way you would Salty run back RNG selected red side without a plan in mind, right? So, what are we doing here in terms of AD? I called out the lane, so it wouldn't be too bad. I don't think they should necessarily do it. Xayah could also be it.
Look, don't be that upset, okay? And to be fair though, LWX, that one fight we saw in our replays, that was kind of it, wasn't it? That's an issue here. Where like LWX last game was kind of just farming 1-for-1 with Ruler, but the problem is that Ruler would outscale. Or at least the impact in teamfights, you have to argue, is definitely going to be more from the Smolder. They're going to try it again. They're going to wrap it around, and RNG are going to try this same lane again, and see if this time there can be more influence here on the 2v2 of RNG.
Okay, well, what's the second support ban then? Is it Alistar from missing? I mean, I think that probably makes the most sense. If I'm RNG, I think I'm banning that. I mean, really, when I try to think about anything, no, you just have to ban Alistar. That's just the best one. Yeah. And then for Wei, I mean, after seeing how the early game went, I would remove the Volibear, but they believe, and I don't blame them, that Yasuo was a far bigger problem.
Dude, how good was Breathe last game? I mean, I definitely don't blame them, considering that for Flandre, he might just be in some kind of stagnant stalemate of a top lane anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, Volibear. Now, on the bright side, Breathe physically cannot lock Yasuo in, so they are not going to have a heroic...
Yone.
If they go...
I mean...
It would be one of the most incredible, like, ego runbacks I think I've seen in a second.
It's literally gonna... I mean, I feel like it's gonna be. We get Twisted Fate again, so top lane.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, look, Karma can go bot, but...
Nah. There you go. That's the one.
Is OP.
Yeah. There it is. So... Oh, actually, I kind of like Rel a bit more. But Maokai's objectively the more broken gem.
Either one.
Yeah, either works, right? It's all about disengage in that regard there. Now RNG, Breathe. What will you be locking in to Twisted Fate, my friend? What do you have in the arsenal? It's an annoying as heck of a champ. You probably want to play Dive. I called out the Aatrox last draft. Let's see. Let's see what they go towards then.
Okay, the big question is...
I'm not gonna guess. Oh my...
Dude. I told you, man. If Yasuo's not available, just fill it in with the brother, I guess. Oh my god, there's no way. RNG, like, look, it wasn't the draft. Okay, it wasn't the draft. We'll do something similar.
Look, I'll be honest, right? Yone is far more self-sufficient. Right? I think one of the big problems that RNG's composition had in terms of what it actually wanted to do last game is that there was only really one way to enable Breathe on the Yasuo, and it was Ming's knockups, right? Through Rakan.
True.
Yone can just, you know, find ult, and if anyone is inside of that box, that hitbox, he'll just drag them all back anyway. So, I like...
Came along and need our repeat. RNG threw it all away. But for JDG moving into game number 2, I mean, small adaptations, but they too are kind of running it back. The only change we have is in the support. What did we get last time? Jamada, you're going to have to remind me.
The game-winning pick.
Yep.
Mind you.
The MVP component, in my
my
opinion.
my MVP.
Your MVP as well.
The people's MVP, I think.
True. Well, Missing's been like that for a couple of years. He's actually been best support in LPL. Running into this split, I feel like On has also had a sick performance, so that could be up for contention, but like Missing consistently in the past couple of years has been top caliber. So seeing him once again on an engage tool, this time something that does have, you know, wide grasp on CC, is going to change things up slightly, ever so slightly, for JDG, who ran 4 of the other same champions. So we've only got 2 new champs in this game, Jamada, and one of them is pretty much the same as his brother. You know,
Yeah.
like close enough. Close enough.
Functionally, may as well be the same. You know,
Yep.
it's this is quite the draft from both these teams. I just, all right. If there is anything to take away from game one, it is that RNG certainly can take up an early game lead from JDG, right?
Yep.
With this kind of draft setting. The question is, will JDG adapt to how things played out in that game number one? Because now they know and they have a much better idea of, you know, how things like, you know, the Volibear actually weigh in against the Xin Zhao, how the lane matchups very specifically interact, and, you know, sure they would have scrimmed some of these champions one-to-one at some point, no doubt, but, you know, getting a feel for how specifically each of these teams respectively play it and played it out from last game to this game is obviously going to be a pretty big tester.
I think for JDG, as we watch the lanes unfold, I mean, again, just seeing that calm, cool passage of play is what any JDG fan wants to see. For now, though, as the lanes start out, RNG, the 2v2 in favor of push, topside for Flandre. Looks like the range advantage means a lot more, as you were kind of alluding to the fact that there's no win wall here. So Breathe is dealing with Flandre, able to step up. If he doesn't get his Q out of his Soul Link, then it's like, well, okay, cool, I missed. I have nothing for a while. And Twist of Fate just keeps hammering away. So I have to wait and see until some of those levels come along, how Breeze starts adjusting with the lane. As at least here this time, RNG's 2v2, Jamada, I mean, this was a quick push. They must have gotten 2 first.
Yeah,
and have just been going to get a free plate.
Yeah, Ruler and missing yielded a lot of pressure at some point. And another thing I'd like to highlight, just on kind of a smaller level here, is that Breathe has also gone Doran's Blade as opposed to Doran's Shield. So
true,
getting poked out here, he's not going to be able to, you know, resustain it through just existing, which is kind of what Doran's Shield does. He has to auto-attack the minions, and if he's got to auto-attack the minions, then he's in range to get auto-attacked by Flandre, so you're just in a lose-lose situation. I think maybe a slight error in starting items, in my opinion, but of course it can give him more threat if Way's up there. The extra AD is nice. Speaking of nice, fancy feats from Ruler, and if they crash this wave, they can look for a dive. No flap. I don't know how long that cooldown is, off the top of my head, but I reckon it's long enough that they can look for this redive right now.
I think you're right. Well, Flash and Ghost available, but immediately Ruler doesn't have an example and won't have a response. Way under turret will survive as well. First blood over to LWX, and RNG set up bot nicely while we look towards mid for Tangyuan. Wind becomes lightning. Yagao gets the slow. Tangyuan flashes away, and he survives with teleport to bring him back to lane.
Yeah, come back to lane with that teleport. Won't miss out on too much, but still chunked out heavily. Missing doing his best to try and hold the wave, but will be pushed back by LWX and Ming, so this wave can crash back out quite quickly. I wonder if JDG will try and turn this actually into a dragon takedown. They're going to know exactly where Wei is very soon. They could give up grubs for a first dragon. I think they wouldn't mind that trade, but he did have flat back up. He started it. There you go. But unfortunately, Wei has a point-and-click CC. Locks him down for free. Now, if there is one thing I will say, at the end of the day, even though the early lane probably sucks really bad here for Yone, he will, at level 6, have a whole bunch of kill pressure, and that's going to be something that, frankly, Flandre just won't be able to deal with.
Ooh, even now, there might be something good. Flandre slowed down. He's knocked up. Wei tries, but turret range is out here for Flandre's dismay. Wei gets hit on the way out. The only summoner was taken was the Ghost, as Breathe tries to set up for a little bit more.
Yeah, people kind of hanging around here. Wei, seemingly wants the grubs, but Kanavi, despite, you know, potential dragon setup being a thing here, doesn't want to give up all 3 grubs, and
engages
Kanavi
in. The rest of JDG aren't here. Flandre with a flash of Aloy takes it. Gold card. Out of range. Jamada. That happened.
He has ult, man. Just ult. Just press
no, he wants to save it. All right, he'll save it. And you know what? There'll be a play coming up where he'll use it. Don't know if it'll be any good. But then we'll say, hey, he could have used ult then. I mean, first blood was already given down bot. There's no kill to follow up, thanks to Flandre. No offense. But grubs do go down. I'm sorry. Had to be said, Flandre, that wasn't very good.
No,
that wasn't very good.
Well, Ming, not missing. Well, missing's here on your screen, but Ming is just trying to help Breve crash the wave in. LWX looking for a hefty trade. Not going to find it. As Seeker goes wide. Looks like Flandre. Flandre is going to ult back to lane. That's why he didn't ult.
He is.
Yeah.
Well, wait for it. Yeah, the Observer knows as well, don't they? They're just like, hey, just see. Here he comes. Gold card. Nicely done. He upset.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's like,
get over it.
This experience isn't about me. You know, it's about the teams, it's about the players.
Very selfless of you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho. Wait.
Yep. Yeah.
It's on this bottom side, and LWX does have level 6, and this wave is crashing, so I'm kind of surprised. Maybe he does have time to do Gromp in all fairness, that they're not going for Dragon here, especially because Yagao's also on a reset, so the times are starting to sync up here for a Dragon to be available, but the issue is now, as Ruler and Missing return back, they just clear that wave out, so there goes the window. Kanavi, because he got all those grubs, is actually ahead now, so he's level 6, way sooner than Wei was in game number 1. As he does actually tick over now as he clears the wolf camp, so both junglers have that ultimate available. Let's see what they can do. Flandre's actually got a roam window down here, so JDG really want this to happen.
Well, Missing tried to buffer the knock up here, but won't get it successfully. Everyone's in for the all-in as the dive comp now showing how far it can go. A 1-for-1 trade so far. Ruler's a healthy one though, as Tangyuan is just out of position. The way in the middle, he'll also trade, but what happens next for JDG under turret? They do some poke, but with a jungler down, even that doesn't matter. I mean, I guess Breathe is going to get the push up on the top side, Jamada.
2 plates.
While we get a trade down bot.
Yeah, 2 plates for the Yone. We'll take that. I mean, very interesting set of plays overall. I feel like, yeah, JDG probably the loser of this. Now, if Missing can blow something here out of Breathe.
Which answer is Fate Seal comes through. Flash. Nice escape. Breathe does burn the summoner and the ulti, but it's still an escape from giving that kill over just before the next grub spawn.
Yeah, I think very unlucky. We'll talk about that. I don't know if we're going to get a replay of it, so I'll talk about this first because, yeah, I mean, JDG kind of the ones that engage. Is Smolder's mum very loud, or is it just me, by the way, the ultimate sound? Maybe because the camera's
she is allowed. She is allowed, you know, she screams. I mean, Shyvana, yeah. I assume that's Shyvana. Shyvana is Smolder's mum, surely, right?
Sure.
Like, that is the, is that the law, or have we gotten to that point or not?
I don't know. I don't know, Jake. But, yeah, either way, JDG...
I don't... Fair enough.
They wanted it. The fight, I guess, turns out not too bad for them. RNG, however, on the back end of eventually do get themselves this dragon. And, speaking of getting themselves a dragon, hee hee ha ha, there is no ultimate available from Wei, however, so no dive necessarily to be had, but just the pressure can certainly force Ruler to have to miss out on this wave, and Missing is finally here. Wei,
does he want to take it? I mean, there's no sneezing going on that's going to work out. Missing is Nature's grasping for the time being. LWX took a turret shot as that Severing Bolt, the execute almost coming through, but Missing is one hit away and eventually drops down to LWX as the poke from over the wall. It's Yagao trying to join in. Mum clears out the wave, but no one there to support Ruler. A double goes over. LWX is massive. He will trade his life under turret, giving a shutdown back over to Ruler. But things are going really well again for RNG in the early game.
Yeah, I mean, they're proactively looking for plays and they're getting them, right? And I think that's the positive thing to talk about for RNG. Hopefully, if they continue to extend this lead, as we'll take a pause.
Flash,
Yagao.
Stun. Fear. Can he move? No, he cannot. Tangyuan with the kill. Wei, if it doesn't work the second time, do it a third.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, got the kills. Nothing to be mad about here. Breathe looking for a ward. We'll get it through the Soul Unbound. We'll eat a little bit of trade damage on the way out, though. There's good spacing from Flandre as well.
Twins. Yeah. I think as we look at the replay here, though, you're going to tell me a little bit more about how this worked out in RNG's favor.
Will I?
Will you not? Would you not
kidding,
like
I
to?
will. Missing, he gets clipped by that severing bolt, and that's kind of that's the end of it. Once he's underneath that tower, it just means that the old WX walk through very, very easy, and some Volibear buffs coming through because this ultimate was cast off cooldown. So if this was ult patch Volibear, wouldn't have worked. Had the ultimate available, but also LWX's death potentially caused by Volibear changes. The duration of that turret disable significantly shorter, just by a second, but a second in a tower dive can be all the difference. As we see there, breathe. Not going to find necessarily the trade he wants.
Dude, this is a Fate must be up in some gold. I mean, we're looking at a small CS lead, and it's also Twisted Fate. So that's also the problem is LWX all-ins onto Ruler. He's got Flash available. Second skin wouldn't be enough as Mum gets angry again. That damage off the side was unfair. LWX gets tagged and flashes away. Now the gold card, the follow through. He all committed and he gets punished for it. RNG again, maybe the skin was too thick as Breathe. What is he doing? A double kill over to Ruler. And JDG are being gifted away back into this game. Now maybe it goes back and forth as Tangyuan is gifted missing. Must be Christmas because presents are being exchanged.
Yeah, late Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
Being handed off between each other, these two teams. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's pretty damn good for JDG because Ruler's the one that's picking up the kill scores. So
he's fed. Look at him.
Yeah, he's 4-2-1. He's only going to base for a double longsword. I think maybe he finished off tier 2 boots there. Not sure if I quite missed that or not. But, I mean, either way, a 4-kill Smolder, 12 and a half, 30 minutes into this game. Is not how you really want to kick things off. Voidseeker connects. LWX looks for the assassination. One more auto would definitely not kill Ruler, but it'll probably take him out of the fight. Ultimate comes in. That was a Q plus the ult. That's why she loses so much health.
That's why I did so much.
The slow from the wind becomes lightning, means that Flandre can get in range from this gold card, and unfortunately, the timing on Missing's ultimate immediately knocks down Breathe, who thought that perhaps his AD carry would live a little bit longer, so he dies for the plate. And then Missing, well, in all fairness, he did think he probably wouldn't get knocked up by the Rakan, because he did knock him back, but still, nonetheless, looking a little bit too aggressively there for more.
Do you think it was a case of how RNG were playing the game again? And so they've got to pause because Breathe is just tempting us with a small trade himself. But RNG, I mean, like we saw there from Breathe, they pull these, they pull the trigger individually without the team's coordination, right? As we saw in the first game, RNG couldn't pull it all together with their team fighting. And I think, again, we've seen something similar as, okay, Flandre really fought hard for that one. But Breathe goes in, Ming has flash and ulti, but doesn't pull the trigger. Like, it feels like a lot of the time RNG aren't always on the same page. As now, again, we have to see while they start up the Herald, it won't be contested, but will there be a fight afterwards? And will we see RNG coordinating here as they set up a potential dive? There's a quickness onto Flandre. He flashes away. He's locked up. Finally, the Fate sealed. Won't go anywhere. The Fear, long range, and Tangyuan picks up the credit. Low health bars for RNG, but you can see JDG already backed away.
Yeah, exactly. JDG, they're cross-mapping this. Yagao's getting the bottom side tower, and they're getting the dragon at the same time. So that's the cost of the play. Get Breathe a kill. Probably get the tower. That will be it. All in all, I still think it's... I mean, this one probably RNG feel better about it, right? Because they already had one dragon. And after Breeze's performance on the Yasuo last game, you feel pretty nice about him getting some gold here. Tangyuan has silently, very, very silently, also gotten himself 4 kills, just like Ruler. So he is very, very strong. And if he hits the 2-iron mark before that next dragon, which I anticipate he will, he is going to be a massive menace to deal with. As JDG, no longer do they have that Tahm Kench to save them from, you know, some of this big AoE.
Very true.
Position a lot more defensively than the previous game.
And again, it's what saved last game. It's what saved Kanavi on the play on the engage. So I think it's very relevant you pulling that up because for JDG, it's what gave them the angle to play so hyper-aggressive and maybe not get punished as hard. We've seen this game. Been some really good punishes, however, even in that bottom lane. LWX has come through the lane quite red hot. We mentioned Ruler's trading and the fact that he's also big as Breathe now in his own lane. Won't get a fair shot because it's a 1v2. Jumps back onto Yagao. Is the damage there? Is it enough? Way to save his day. The flash, it's matched though. and Breeze drops down. And now that Wei's here, he tried to commit to save his top laner's life, but the range also there. Kanavi trying to buy time. Ulti flies through onto Wei. He survives long enough, but the rest of JDG are flying through. You'd say that's great, but RNG need to run for the hills. The range on top as well, and Rule is damaged as he wants to flap, but the wings, I think, are on cooldown. Unfortunately, Dragon with cooldown on wings. We haven't heard of that one before, as ridiculous as it sounds. But man, these fights keep flipping around and JDG keep fighting back.
Hey, I mean, they do keep flipping around, but technically, you know, Shyvana's got cooldown on her wings, you know, she's just like kind of can't always have the dragon form and fly everywhere. Anyway, great pick onto Breathe here, and Breathe does just about everything that he can to get out of this one. Unfortunately, the flash comes through, or rather, it's just the extended range of the dash, beg your pardon, from Kanavi, which allows that one to go down, but then Ming makes his way in. What's nice for Kanavi is he gets the cast off on his ultimate, so he does live a little while longer. Plus, I think a passive heal, and it slows down LWX for Ruler to get involved, and he gets that kill credit, as unfortunately for Kanavi isn't, or rather, Ruler isn't able to get a little bit more than he was bargaining for once he went forward with that flash. As JDG, 9,000 kills in total.
Hey!
Not bad.
And you gotta remember, these guys haven't been around for that long, like 20... I did this research so many times. I feel like it's 2017 spring or summer. Newbies roster, correct me if I'm wrong. But this team has been around not as long as the EDG's the RNG. So 7th is right about where you'd put them, considering that RNG, EDG, IG, WE, longest standing organizations in the LPL. For JDG, it's the recent form that's pushed up those kills. We'll see if any more get tagged along, because for now, the poke trying to dismay RNG from making this dive with the Herald happen, but as the sun comes through, Kanavi in harm's way. Won't be for much longer, as Herald does end up dissipating, gets the turret down to half HP, and with Breathe pushing down bot as well, it's an RNG that are now clearing out this bot side, putting vision of their own, and setting up for Dragon spawning in 1 minute 30 to try and make it a second.
Yeah, I'm wondering if JDG want to contest this, though. They could cross-map for that tier 1 on the top side. One Mountain Dragon, do they feel like it's worth fighting for right now when Tangyuan is as strong as he is, and Ruler's probably just a little bit shy of hitting that 225 mark? I feel like the answer's likely going to be yes. You've got Kanavi and Yagao up here now, a minute before, and with Yagao no teleport, I think, Jake, that'll just be about it. I think they're going to look for a cross-map more than anything else. Still do have the time to rotate over eventually, but I think that's what they're going for here. Might even have to give up tier 2 on the bottom side, but frankly, they might be able to trade the tier 2 as well. Ruler's going to clear the wave. Okay, yeah, that's balanced. Goodbye, wave.
That's what it's just become, hasn't it? Like, it's like how Rumbles use Equalizer, you know, with a 40-second cooldown. Well, like, just clear waves. Like, Mum has no cooldown.
Lucianal as well, but like with far more safety and range.
True. Also heals. It's a heal. So
yeah, I don't know why it does that, but it's okay. It's okay.
Not too sure. Not too sure. It just exists in the game. RNG. While they're pushing down this bot side, Ina goes down to half, but mid is still held on thanks to Mummy. As JDG continue to push out and try and get their vision back in their own jungle. It's Dragon that spawns in 5 seconds, Jamada, the thing we pay attention to, while JDG have to really claw their way through this deep and dark jungle.
Yeah, definitely a bit scary. Kanavi's going to have to be the one that does it. He's got ultimate. There's a lot of range damage, really, from RNG. It's only if Breathe gets on top of him that he's got to worry for the time being.
Flandre used ulti, by the way. Destiny is down, so no reposition here from the Twisted Fate.
Yeah, no reposition. RNG, they're really taking their time about this. They don't want JD to get through the choke, but they have now.
Breathe on the angle is good, but gets tagged out. Now they know exactly where he's approaching from if they didn't before. As Dragon goes down to 5k, all for a third Dragon that will make Mountain. Mum flies through again. Wei has to ulti out. He's got flash to get back in, but there's no Dragon contest. JDG marches a 5-man troop, take it out with ease. And now they've got access to mid-wave as well, Jamada.
Yeah.
It feels like that was just such a simple, smart play.
Yeah, I mean, JDG take their time. Everyone on RNG eventually angles down towards the bottom lane, and there you have it. Not only did they get the Dragon, because they're able to force their way in. Get this tower as well. RNG just weren't really able to defend the choke. That's the main thing. And they ran out of tools, and they ran out of poke. JDG kind of just forced the issue. Not sure where the replay exactly will start. They're already in the river, unfortunately, so I can't quite highlight that for you, but Ultimate from Maokai pushes everyone back. Great interrupt as well, you'll see, from Kanavi right here to ensure there's no potential of a re-engage. Excellently done. It's a very clean dragon take in the end. As RNG are now trying to force their way into the top jungle, lay down some vision. See what they can find off the back of it. This tower is being chipped away more and more in the mid lane, but unfortunately it's Smolder.
Look at this wave clear.
Has excellent wave clear. And he is 2 more waves away from the magical number.
You saw the 215. And look, all you have to do is hit champions as well. Remember, those give stacks. So make that 9. Minions left to go for ruler. And it's just like game 1. I feel like we're rinsing and repeating. The way we get there is different, Jamada. But like, we are at that same point. Ruler is a big concern. This Smolder is fed and has had a really good path of play to get here. You know, this time as well, like there is a long range engage. There's not that same safety net, but missing is going to be a massive threat to set up this Smolder, which again feels like I'm just tooting the horn of JDG, but it goes off what we saw game 1. It goes what we've seen of JDG. It doesn't matter how they get to the point of late game. If they're at late game and gold's not like 10,000 gold down, you have a real concern as to whether you're going to survive a team fight from JDG. Now, am I correct? Let's find out. Kanavi out with a circus display again. Mum flies through, and that executes there now, by the way, Jamada. He's got it packing. So Ruler is big as now Flandre flies in. Was that a blue card? Doesn't matter anyway, or maybe it does, and yes, it does indeed. No gold there, Jamada, so Cleanse held on to.
You know what, though? It gets LWX's flash. I actually think it's smarter to red card him there than gold card. So
it's a bigger play. The 5-brain play. Everyone would get the gold card for a cleanse, but no one would red card for a flash.
Yeah, you know, like, because at the end of the day, if he gets gold carded, he just cleanses and continues to walk back.
True.
Unironically, it was better to pull red. So good job, Flandre. Whether he was actively thinking about that, I'll give him. I'm pretty sure he probably was. If he pulls red,
sneaky.
Oh, really sneaky.
Wait, Kanavi just reset.
No.
Kanavi is nowhere near.
JDG, no, but Kanavi's obviously not anywhere nearby. This is a pretty big problem. And there's not a lot of ultimates available either.
Oh, it's going down slow. Flandre's walking in. I mean, if Baron goes down, great.
Oh,
but
Kanavi.
Missing jump in. He does it again. Kanavi just flies in and does it again. I thought there's no way he's in range. RNG are just going to lose this series to Baron. It wasn't even JDG's doing. I think RNG just lost this series to Baron.
Oh, I can't.
They can't. Look at his face. Look at his face. Yeah, whatever.
Getting away with this.
There's no way RNG are about to lose this entire series. The 2 Baron plays. 1 down. Execute to follow. That's an ace. And base is breaking here. You'd have to think, like, what the heck? RNG, where have the good old days gone? What is this?
I don't know, man. I just don't know. Oh, I just give me a second, Jake. Okay, I need to recompose myself because
yeah, do it in the replay. Do this because I was
just
like,
you cannot. He flashes over the knockup. It drops below 1.2k for like a frame, and he still doesn't get to smite it. I just.
See, for me, I checked out. I'm like, dude, Kanavi's not getting in this pit in time. Completely missed that flash, which is such a Chad move. But yeah, the fact he walks up again and just gets a smite is hilarious. Like, I guess for RNG, you're not patting yourself on the back after this game anymore. Like, early game looked great, but now you lost 6,000 gold from Baron. Jamada, gold was even. It was close. JG were up maybe 2K. Now, 8,000 gold, right? They're going to be picking up this Mountain Dragon because the map is theirs. Breathe is trying to rinse and replicate what his split pushing was in game 1. But JDG at this point, as they get into the enemy base, I mean, they can leave Flandre there. He can Destiny to the play. He's got options.
Yeah. He's got options. Sorry. Slight reference. Well, he has popped it. It's just to get information where Reavers. And Kanavi and Ruler are just going to try and force their way behind this tier 2. The wave's a long way away, so they're probably just going to end up walking around. Not bad here for JDG.
No way did they lose this. No way did RNG lose this game.
What do you mean, no way? Jake, they
I
are
mean, it
like
was-
7,000 gold behind now.
No,
we know what
now
happened.
they do. No, now they do, right? But that sneaky play. I mean, look, it wasn't like the last game, to be fair, where RNG were like 5k gold ahead. I think it was a little bit more competitive, a little bit more concerns. But the fact that we just decided to roll, like, you know, I've heard of cheese rolling down in the UK. That's like what RNG are doing. Like, we're going to throw this cheese down a hill, and if we get there first, that's sick. If not, oh, GG, well played. They just literally threw a roll of cheese down the hill to give JDG a 2-0.
Well, you know, I guess there are some positives to take away from RNG.
Okay, hit me with them.
Like, they did go toe-to-toe for the first 20 minutes against JDG in both their games.
That is true. Very true.
Which is like, you know, it's definitely a feat in itself, but at the same time, JDG's drafts have not really been dedicated to early game. Like, in the
Also
slightest. So there's even a caveat to that, if I'm being completely cynical about it. I don't know. It's a hard watch. It's a hard watch as a neutral. I'm sure it's an even harder watch if you're an RNG fan.
Oh, the RNG fans, I think, are used to it by now. I mean, again,
Yeah.
It's been a really rough split. Like, we were saying how important this game was coming in because you want to see RNG win if you're an RNG fan, because if they start taking losses now, getting past the halfway point in their games where they've already gotten to the eight number on their losses, now it means another loss, 9. Then it's like, okay, cool. You can only hit 7. And 7 has rarely been enough for playoffs. Like, this does feel like the death knell game for RNG that maybe shouldn't have been one with how well they started out of the gates.
Exactly. And it's just come down from smites. It's not. It's just the sad
It
thing,
really
like,
has. It has.
The calls inherently haven't been like that bad. They've just lost smites from like in one way or another. This smite, you know, it was forgivable because Kanavi quite literally did like everything he could to get to the pit in time, but some of the other ones questionable.
Well, one of them was taken by a Tom Kenshaw missing. So, so that one, I mean, you question both jugglers, I guess.
At that point, yeah, very true.
Yeah.
How did we get here?
You're taking up all the oxygen. You want to just slow down a little bit?
I need it. I need it. After what's happened here, you know, it's a bit of a travesty. But hey, you know, again, positives are there for RNG.
Yeah, and
even if they lose.
And look, hey, you know, we didn't come back here to just, you know, be mean to RNG.
No.
You know, we came here as guests to spread our love of our LPL teams that we once remembered. And in this particular case, RNG are down memory lane because, man, it's been a hot minute since, like, we've seen RNG near playoffs. And I'm trying to think, because I remember last year, I shouldn't say near playoffs. I should say, like, near the top 3, right? That's more of a, hey, it's been a while. Because I think RNG made playoffs last year or the end of last year.
Last year,
yeah. Why am I thinking this team's been in the bottom for ages? Like, oh, RNG aren't good anymore.
It's one of those. It's because they're so typically good that you just, you know, like when they're bad for long or like even a short period of time, it just feels longer than it is. Ming.
He's out. Missing. Nature's Grasp. Hang on.
Oh.
Wei has to ulti. They still get the re-engage, and that's an execute on missing. LWX ulti's in, but Ruler's reposition is sick as Mum takes care of the rest. Mummy's good like that.
He's
free tagged on the side as well, and Flandre is just nuking. That guy is rigging the deck. As for JDG, now with so many members down in their way, the base is in tatters again.
Yeah, base in tatters again. How much can they look to
Over.
get? The problem is, Hui is a champion. So, good luck ending right now. You gotta go and get Baron, boys. That's exactly what they realize they have to do. No, Hui will just clear the waves, so off they go to the Baron and RNG.
Flip it.
Okay, how
flip it.
put if Wei
No.
if Wei steals this Baron, I might just put my headset down and let you cast the rest of the series. But he
Okay,
doesn't
man.
have flash.
Alright.
Never mind. It's
E. Flandre got it. Everybody gets a turn. Yeah.
I'm just letting you know, if he had the opportunity to get into the back of the pit, you would be casting the rest of this day. You would have been by yourself.
Would, yeah.
All right, I'm just letting you know. I would have closed how we're casting, and it would have just been that would have been it anyway. Yeah, look at the
What is
two
that?
cards and a two Twisted Fate war attacks and a ruler war attack.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, more likely the Flandre damage was one doing it. He just destinied in between two RNG, but dude, he doesn't take enough damage. Flandre doesn't take enough damage. He survives a burst from a Yone, picks up a double.
And Ruler
Flandre
just
now
solo
getting the
killed
help of
LWX.
Ruler's mum. Where did he come from? This is an assassin Smolder who's now been ultied up, runs in. Flandre doesn't want to die today. But as JDG run forward, it just keeps getting better for them. There's no wave here, Jamada. But like, again, they're in a 5 versus 2.
I can't believe it. Oh, Ruler. Yeah, has to be careful. Wait.
That's a trade, isn't it?
Wait, that's still a lot of damage. But at the end of the day, this should just about be game with the Baron buff. Plus the Void Mites. RNG, they're out of gas.
I think it is. I think it is. With the Twisted Fate, I think it definitely is. RNG, 2 games in a row. Baron is not their friend. If you take one thing away from today, it's that JDG were just gifted the present of 2 games back-to-back. GG.
I mean, look, JDG happy they're catching up with their arch nemesis BLG, but it's so hard to look at this game without thinking about those smites and the fights that went on in the Baron pit this series. It could have been wholly different had a couple of things gone the way of RNG, but JDG, they just have a magic way about them, don't they? In games like these, in series like these, where team fighting and making the correct call is just what they do.
It's just better. Look, JDG impress us, and again, they still earned this victory. I think that's the thing I want to reiterate is that it's not like RNG were dead ringers to win up those games, that series. The problem is that both games, the Baron just made it easy for JDG to collapse, and that's the thing about top teams in the LPL. It's about top teams in any region. They have a better way of closing out the game once you make a mistake. And Jamada, I think, we've said this about JDG for a while. Like, you make one mistake, you make one error, like, leave one part of the map open. JDG collapse well, turn it into a 2-3k gold lead out of nowhere. And they're very good at punishing those mistakes, as we saw the Baron power play